بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. سلامی از صمیم قلب و به طراوت نسیم صبحگاهی به همه کسانی که صدای من رو در آینده خواهند شنید. I'm from Iran, Islamic Republic of Iran, and I hold the position of professor in university, specifically Islamic history and Islamic civilization.
Good greetings, namaskar. I am from Nepal. My name is Toyana Batrai. I have been a civil servant for 30 years, and before that I used to work for the schools as a teacher.
My name is Safida Begum. I come from the upper part of Hunza Valley. It is in the northern areas of Pakistan.
Among the Peacebuilding and Development Institute's goals is to discover how conflict, from low societal tension to war, has affected and transformed the lives of our participants.
I was born in a rather remote, underdeveloped village of the country. It is in Far East Nepal, and the place did not have any schools in that area. So, as a matter of fact, the people there were deprived of the opportunity to have education.
In many areas there are no schools, and wherever there are schools, girls get education up to primary or middle classes, and then they get married. I got married when I was 11 years old. So there was a difficult situation for me. My interest was different and the tradition was different. They were not matching with each other.
In 1965, some Peace Corps volunteers from the United States of America went to Nepal to assist in the development of the country, and some of the Peace Corps volunteers were in my school also. So they taught me English. So that English language opened up my knowledge and my eyes to the wider world.
And it was quite difficult for me. Many people, they were thinking, is it necessary to get education? You are married already, so you don't need to, you should stop that. I had kind of intrinsic motivation. I really wanted to continue my education.
Our summer program draws together practitioners and professionals from various cultural backgrounds with varied levels of conceptual and field-level experience in peace building.
My name is Meki Petric. I'm from Vienna in Austria. I'm a civil servant and also now international and national consultant on socioeconomic issues and development.
My name is Saji Prelis. I'm from Sri Lanka and I direct the Peacebuilding and Development Institute at American University. In addition to that, I also direct a small NGO called Center for Peacebuilding International that focuses on young people affected by conflict and natural disasters.
Our summer program creates a space for participants to appreciate and learn from one another. Practical skills in peace building and conflict resolution are developed through teamwork and hearing the story of another without judgment.
I was born with conflict kind of situation. My parents had a different interest. They were expecting me, a son. They were expecting a son, but when they got me as a daughter, so it really disappointed them.
In Islamic culture, including Iranian culture, the family and the family institution is a very important and is in the society, because it's the first environment, the first place for training.
Growing up in Sri Lanka with an extended family, all living in the same house, I felt very privileged. Because I learned from so many different people. My father, when he first met my mother, he was a Catholic priest. And my mother comes from a very staunch Buddhist background. And once they met, they were challenged because religion was hindering in their relationship. But the love they have for each other helped them keep a strong relationship. And 39 years later, they're still like two teenagers in love.
I would like to express my gratitude to my mother. When my father died when I was in the high school, she was the only person who would assist me, although an uneducated woman, to fund my education.
I think one of the most significant events in my life that changed really the direction of my life was getting deeply familiar with Islamic thoughts, Islamic teachings.
I was also encouraged to go to church, go to the temple, go to the mosque because of my friends and family members. So I was exposed to a lot of those ideologies, those beliefs, those lifestyle choices growing up. And that helped me also see the world through a different lens.
I lived a very split childhood. I lived on the one hand in a, I would say, upper class family, partly connected with politics, university and so on. But my mother and I, we were poor. So we lived in this very strange, misconception of where we belong to.
Part of the learning experience at our summer program is discovering those life-changing moments that first put a participant on the path to peace building.
I think what comes to my mind is the earthquake situation. You know, when there was the earthquake, everybody from international NGOs, they just came in and then help our people. And that also opened the door for many people to come and then serve those people in that area, and they also got opportunity to get jobs. So it was a kind of just a momentum in that area.
The coup where Allende was killed, Chile. It must have been 74 or something, or 73, 1973.
One afternoon in 1983, there was a lot of violence that broke out on the same streets that I grew up in, and I witnessed for the first time the real good and ugly side of human nature, seeing people butchering people to death, torturing people in front of my own eyes, really left a strong mark in me.
I had heard about the liberation movement, I had heard about the peaceful development of this country. I had got involved in this whole movement and was very much emotionally and intellectual into this area. And when I heard that he had been killed and that there was a counter putsch and all the young people put in the stadium and tortured and so on, it made me incredibly sad.
For the last few years, my country has been suffering from insurgency, and the insurgency has killed about 13,000 people altogether during 12 years.
It affected me personally when seeing how my friends I grew up with, whose lives will never be the same since that day, have also helped put a really sour mark on me. But also looking back in that aspect, it also helped for me to look at conflict in a different way, human nature in a different way as well.
And I remember I was on a boat to go to Greece, to an island, to Crete, from the mainland of Greece. And I stood there just crying, because it was everything, there was the death of hope. And I wasn't an expert on development at the time, but it had touched me very much beforehand. And that this movement could be stopped, killed, was somehow horrible.
The king had to give in April 2006. He restored the dissolved parliament and asked the parties to